Thank you very much, Terry. It's a pleasure and a privilege to introduce to you, those of you who do not know him, T. Denny Sanford. You have on your table a list of the 26 philanthropic areas that Denny has contributed to over the years. Actually, there are more than the 26, but these 26 tell you something about the man. Denny Sanford has a motto that those of you know him is built around a concept of he aspires to inspire before he expires. What a great motto. But more important than just the motto is the action activities of T. Denny Sanford. I had the privilege with a few of my high school friends who know Denny very, very well to spend some time with him out in San Diego a few months ago. We went to the San Diego Zoo. Many of you have been to the San Diego Zoo, and of course we met Denny, and he was happy to show us the T. Denny Sanford Children's
Encampment.
say it again?
Encampment.
Encampment.
Make it fun for kids.
Make it fun for kids. And by the way, if you look at the list of all the philanthropic areas that he has contributed to over a period of time, he has done a tremendous job of advancing the good health of youth. But let me tell you something. We watched the kids at the adventure park, the encampment. And it's one thing to have a slogan. It's another thing to build an opportunity for children, for young people to come and enjoy. And I can't even explain to you the joy that was on the face of the young people, climbing around, running around, standing in the water that was making a warm day in San Diego fun. I asked Denny, I said, where did you get that idea? He said, Como Park. And I said, but in Como Park Zoo, it's only open for about 5 months of the year. But to watch the impact that this gentleman has had on individuals over periods of years, and the impact that he's had on youth, which I'm sure he'll tell you more about, is absolutely remarkable. 5 years ago, we went to La Jolla and went through the Sanford Burnham Stem Cell Research Center. And to watch the impact that he was having and watching the love of the people who work there for the impact that he and others are having was truly remarkable. We had the opportunity in San Diego to go to the San Diego, the hospital, the Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego, where I think they serve 94.1% of all the youth in San Diego who need hospitalization. We had a great tour there. Denny wasn't with us on that day, but they couldn't talk enough about you, Denny, about what you're doing with advancing the mental health opportunities along with their hospitalization opportunities. But last but not least, I want to tell you this, because it tells you something about the man that you're about to listen to. At one point at the zoo, the San Diego Zoo, Denny said to our small little group, he said, I want you to meet my son. And we said, your son? He said, yes, I want you to meet my son. We said, what is your son's name? He said, my son's name is the same as mine, Denny. And somebody in our group, John Morrison, said, well, how old is your son? And Denny said, he's 6. He's 6. And of course, Denny here is 86. And we all raised our eyebrows and said, you have a son, Denny, who's 6? And he said, yes, I want you to meet him. And so then he journeyed us over to where the gorilla encampment was. And I don't know if he whistled or he called, "Hey, Denny," but here came a little 6-year-old gorilla by the name of Denny, which was only there because of Denny's beautiful help with the zoo. I introduce you to Denny Sanford.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. By the way, they talk to you. Oh, thank you so much. It's a joy to be back here. It was about 4 or 5 years ago that Don had me here, and I just appreciate the principles that you work from, and this creed says it all. I mean, truly, truly, truly. So, I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm from St. Paul, born on the east side, grew up in the McAllister Park area, went to St. Paul Central after being at Linwood and Ramsey grade schools, went to the University of Minnesota, not well, but I finished. Took an extra quarter to do it, but I got out of there with a degree in psychology, and that was a great experience for me. And life in the Twin Cities was great. It really was. I'm sure it's just as good, if not better today, but I do miss the Twin Cities. I had an opportunity to build a very big specialty chemical company here in town by the name of Contech. I took it public in 1972, sold it. I took it public at $5 a share in 72, sold it in 82 for $35 a share. And so I was sitting on a bunch of cash, and one of my dear, dear friends called me and said, "I've got a problem." I said, "I know her." And it was a bad marriage, He said, "You got to help me out." And he had a lot of money at that point in time, but he had a list of debts that he was good for, but he didn't have any cash. And so his name was Steve Adams. His dad was a big radio announcer. You guys may remember him. And I helped him by buying a small bank out in South Dakota, and I've turned it into a big bank. It was about a $300 million bank. Now it's about a $3 billion bank, and I've had a lot of fun doing that. But more importantly, I was able to hire one of the top people from Citibank to put together a credit card company for me, and now I've got 4 million customers nationwide, and virtually all of them are credit impaired. They've lost their credit, usually a health issue or a divorce or a loss of job. But we've got 4 million of them on our books, and we treat them well, and we educate them on how to do better in terms of running their credit and their own financial situation. So it's really, it's been a joy to put that together. On the table, I've got, and Donna, I guess you put some of the stuff about me on the table. It's just been absolutely joy. I'm an optimist all the way. I'm not an optimist by membership, but I am by trade. I mean, I was born with the right parents and the like, and it's been absolutely wonderful for me. So, what's important to me is clearly spelled out in different words here: trust and respect. Those are the two biggest words that you can think about when you say, okay, what's important to you? Trust and respect. If you can get that, and you all trust and respect one another here, and there's just a lack of trust and respect around the country and some of the things that are happening. One of the most exciting things I'm doing, I just told them by the table this, about 12 years ago, I met Dr. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus. And he made such an impression on me that I asked him to help me create a program called Sanford Harmony. And Sanford Harmony was Arizona State University created all of the curriculum for it but it's now in 16 to 18 million kids nationwide. Teaching boys and girls at an early age, before puberty, how to understand the opposite gender. And we do it in a very unusual way. We have a little character by the name of Z. Okay, kids, here's our new classmate, Z. Z was from the planet Z, and on the planet Z, there are no boys and girls. So girls tell Z what boys are all about in front of the boys. So, you know, it's going to, oh, they're rough and tough and think they're so smart and so on. So, okay, now boys, you tell Z what girls are all about. It really helps them understand one another before puberty. And it's really one of the greatest things I've created. And I've thanked every day by schools around the country. How did you ever come up with that? Well, Dr. John Gray really came up with the idea, and I just put it into children rather than adults. So that's been a lot of fun. One of my big accomplishments in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, is the growth of a big hospital system down there called Sanford Health. We're now at 50,000 employees, and we will be merging sometime in the next year with another organization about the same size, so it's maybe about 85,000 people within the organization, but 10,000 doctors or more within the organization. I'm very, very proud of that. It's a private nonprofit, so there's nothing in it for me other than the joy that I see in the health that we create for the people there. So I've got a couple boys in their 50s, and they're doing good. One lives in Tampa, one lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and life has just been good. So, as he mentioned earlier, I've a motto: aspire to inspire before you expire. We're all here. We're not going to be here in a long time, so make it worthwhile. Any questions any one of you have? That's kind of my life story. I've given about $3 billion away so far, and I've got an equal amount coming forth. My company is worth a substantial amount of money. So, lucky guy at the right time, born in the right place in St. Paul, and raised up here. So, any questions?
What was
Yes,
it
sir.
like hanging out with Don Silverdo when you were younger?
He was my coach.
Yeah, we were chemistry partners, as you well know. Mr. Malcolmberg's.
Yeah.
Neither one of us did very well with it.
Yeah, and I started the university in pre-med, and I got 2 Ds in the first 2 quarters, and my counselor said, "What else would you like to be?" So I went into sales, and the rest is history. So Don was a great buddy.
Well, Denny, last time you were talking about
No question about it. But business is the simplest thing in life if you hire people smarter than yourself. And across the board, that is my motto, and it works. It takes the problems out of your life and so on and so forth. Just hire people smarter than yourself. And I've been able to do that. I've got some people that make several $1 million a year, but they make me more. So that all works. But I'm an optimist all the way. I never have bad moments. So, yes.
A lot of your stuff seems to be for youth and children. Why is that?
I think they're the most helpless. They need a lot of help, truly. It's just the parents don't always have, or the schools don't necessarily have the right answers for kids. So the more you can do for kids, I think that's the biggest return on my investment. Ma'am.
Being a teacher.
You're a teacher. Thanks for coming up. Okay. Repeat your question.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Khadija. I teach at Central High School.
Oh, good.
I teach the business classes there, so I do the entrepreneurship, the personal financial management.
Beautiful.
I do the marketing classes there, and I also do the CNA training, so I train nursing assistants there. So I was wondering, out of everything out here that is very, very important for me to get access to, how can I do that in a way that I can say I saw you and I talked to you.
I'll give you my card and you get in touch with me or my assistant. I'll
Thank
be
you.
happy to, believe me, thank you. The hardest time in my life was losing my mother. I was 4 years old, so I never really knew her. She died of breast cancer. But in business, you just have to work through it. And keep grinding, keep grinding, keep grinding. I'm 86 years old. I work 7 days a week. People say, why do you do that? Because I have purposes that need fulfilling. And you see a list on the table. I'm very excited about it. We're just talking about Rady Children's Hospital out there. The potential suicide rate has gone with their students, their kids that they serve, has gone from 500 to 5,000. So we created a whole new medical research group there, psychologists, and the like to hang out. But that across the country in my opinion, because of COVID. COVID the lockdown didn't do us any good. Back in the back. I think I'm a born optimist. Truly. And I surround myself with born optimists. That's the easy way to go. There are a lot of negative people out there. You just trying to listen to them. There's one down here.
Got one right here, Denny.
Go ahead.
No,
Go.
What are some of your next goals that you want to?
I'm going to keep concentrating on children. I think that's the best return on investment of money or time, by far and away. You can make the biggest impact there. So, okay. Thank you all. By the way, I'm going to end with one statement I attribute to Norman Vincent Peale. Aspire to inspire before you expire, but more importantly, be positive. Be positive all the way. Okay.
I got a little thing for you here.
Thank you all.
I got an optimist plaque here for an optimist creed. We'll use it. So I'd like to present to Denny our optimist creed for all the things that he's aspired us to do, to be positive, to work with children, and to keep going. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet, Denny.
Thank you all.
You bet. We'll get a couple pictures. He's getting it right there.
Okay, very good.